Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be covering a game called Vagrus, the Riven Realms Prologue. It is a demo, but we're going to shoot it about 15-ish to maybe even a little more, depending on how well this gameplay actually goes and how long the demo is for us. So, let's get on it. Come on, pop up. And remember, folks, we are doing this live, so everything that you see here will be us being live. So any kind of craziness, any kind of stupidity, anything I just start randomly talking about, that is me talking to my chat. I agree, DJ. I really do. Alright. Come on. We'll play. Okay. We'll hold spacebar. Lost Pilgrims. An armed traveling company. Commodus. Vagrus. A venturer. A vagabond. A captain. The leader of a comitatus.
The River Realms, they call it. What a fine poetic name for something as rotten and twisted as our land has become. It was not always so. Long ago, the old empire, the noblest and most enduring society
I understand
created
that,
by
DJ.
humankind, spanned almost the entire continent of Zerine, the cradle of man.
Hold on, folks. It appears that... Let me do this while I do that.
But
There we
after
go.
several millennia of progress and incomparable achievements, inevitably, the empire began to fall into stagnation and decadence. Desperately holding on to their privileges and resisting change while trying to avert the collapse of the realm, the emperor and his theocracy took to measures that were worthy of true despots in cruelty. Subjugating weaker realms, enslaving whole nations, strip mining foreign resources, oppressing imperial citizens, war on several fronts, genocide. Eventually, the gods could no longer tolerate such horrors wrought in their name.
Ooh, sorry, folks.
Foretold by an abundance of divine omens, they descended upon the empire to right its wrongs. Thus, in a chain of dreadful events that became known as the Calamity, they annihilated the empire in a matter of days.
Damn.
The gods then finally saw what they had done in their anger and confusion. It is said that so much grief and shame filled them that they were broken and they left this reality, never to return. The continent and its inhabitants seemed dead, but at length survivors began to crawl out of their hiding holes and faced a land that no longer welcomed them. Arcane anomalies, the fallout of the Calamity, now riddled the continent, and people realized that they had to share their new home with changed and twisted creatures. Terrible beings entered through the cracks in the tapestry of reality and rose to rule over the natives. In time, these new powers rebuilt the fallen empire in their own image. And the River Realms, now godless and vengeful, reincarnated from
The Assassin's game should be coming out sometime around December,
the
from my
inhabitants of the
understanding.
land, such as I, now eke out a living under the crushing rule of the new empire. The continent itself
Why do you ask,
constantly resists
CJ?
our every attempt at building a cozy home for ourselves. As travel is dangerous, many ventures specialize in transferring cargo and passengers over bleak and deadly leagues of land. Others try to take everything of value from said travelers, or attempt to find buried treasures among the ruins of the old empire. The leaders of the endeavors are, some say, the bravest men and women of the river realms. Such a leader
You're
is
gonna
called
what, DJ?
a Vagrus.
A Vagrus. Ooh. So I was saying the name wrong. Alright, now this is a demo that was given to me by the amazing people over at GOG. We're going to give this game a thorough checking through. Oh, you're going to get it? Oh, hell yeah. When it comes out, I am going to get it myself. And just like the main character, I will be braiding my beard in the same fashion as his, and be braiding my hair in the same fashion of his.
Yes, a Vagrus. What a profession. Daring and savvy, always watching the horizon, always looking for an opportunity, and of course, for what is best for his comitatus, eh? And you are a Vagrus too, are you not? Many of your kind have I seen in my long life as a vagabond. Care to listen to a story about your exquisite occupation, good master? It is a tale.
Sure, let's listen.
Wise you are, good master. My tale is of a Vagrus such as yourself, but one whose fate was cursed and wrought with ill fortune. It all happened a long time ago. 10 years, maybe more. I was but a passenger, traveling rough roads and forgotten ways with this comitatus, south along the feet of the great mountains of the west.
Well, let's see what it's got for us, shall we?
This comitatus I speak of had fallen under hard times. Perhaps it was due to imperial harassment or unfortunate decisions, or simply bad luck. Irafrons, saint of roads, does not always smile on us mere mortals. But however it came to pass, their coin was drying up, and their opportunities seemed few and far between. One of the last chances their Vagrus saw was to travel to the remote town of Scrapheap and spend their remaining funds to stock up on cheap scrap metal. This metal could be sold for great profit over in the east and south. It wasn't a bad plan, truly, but it was not without risks either.
Welcome to Vagrus, the Riven Realms demo. It is part of a longer standalone story, Pilgrims of the Wasteland, which serves as an introduction to the setting and also as a tutorial to the game. It behooves you to read this tutorial text and follow the instructions to gain better understanding of how the game works. What do you mean you're trash at Extinction? Nobody's trash at Extinction. The symbol icon can be clicked in tutorial windows to show what the section of what is referring to via a pointer. Note that you have to be on the right UI screen for the pointer to appear. You can access the hotkey by pressing F11. Okay, on the campaign map, your Comitas traveling company always occupies a node and moves between nodes through paths. Moving along paths costs movement points, indicated next to each path. Every in-game day you have a number of movement points to spend before you need to camp. To move, click on a nearby node and select Move from the radial menu. You can select a node that is farther away. The MP cost of moving there will be calculated and the path highlighted. Okay, so we are trying to get to that. Okay. Having gone ahead of the column with the handful of scouts, you watch from afar as your Comitas slowly trudges along broken terrain, making its way south, ponderously among dormant geysers all around you. The hills smolder lazily in the perpetual twilight. No, I have never streamed that evil word, but if anybody is ever wanting me to stream that, all you have to do is donate $100, and I'll gladly gladly do a terrible job at playing it. Are you alright? Javek's voice resonates with sympathy as he appears next to you on the ridge. You nod slowly, but do not look at him, your gaze lost in the distance, where ash cloaks the horizon in the towering mountains to the south and west. Your turn comes, and note his supportive smile. You and Javik have been traveling the realms together for years now. There is no person in the world who you trust more than you trust him, except perhaps yourself. I know you feel constrained, but as I said before, you made the right choice by leading us here. Time will tell, but I still have my doubts. It's a long shot and you know it. There wasn't much of a choice, either this or returning my trading license and hanging myself. It has to work. We cannot fail, not like this. Or, thank you for the last thing I need right now is a clumsy pep talk, even as well meant. Time will tell. We'll go with the first option. Javik nods. True, but it's better than just giving up. The crew agrees too. That counts for something, no? Let's see here. Options are, it does, yes. Good to know that they still have faith in me as their Vagrus. Well, Vagrus. Or perhaps they're just as desperate as I am. It doesn't change a thing about our predicament, so why should I care? You know what? Again, I'm going to be nice and go with one. I don't know. I only played a little bit of it, DJ. But for me, yeah. Yeah, it's a terrible game. I'll never play it. Not unless someone pays me to. They do have faith in you still, Javik says. It should not come as a surprise since you have known and traveled with most of them for years and years. Some founding members of the Comitas you could trust with your life, but you have heard stories before of Vagri who have been abandoned for less. Times being what they are, Javak trails off with Imperials cracking down on its independence more heavily than before. Business is tough, everyone knows, and they appreciate your efforts to keeping us floating. Our plan ought to give us another chance. Oh, this is just a wall of text. I'm not reading this. Okay. Okay, the codex is a collection of entries you will find throughout your travels. Yada yada yada. Entries are displayed in the list as on the left. You can search entries and filter by category. Okay. So, I'll say that he has no choice. These are dark times. They call for desperate deeds, but such thoughts make me uncomfortable, to be honest. Yavek rubs his chin absent-mindedly. You have seen this expression of his too often not to realize he is using his sorceress talent to read your mind. Taking a peek. Okay. But even so, he has not probed your mind in years, certainly not on purpose, but neither by accident. Perhaps he is less in control now, which suggests he is more on edge about this whole trip than he lets on. I'll accept his apology. Both of you head west to join the column.
As we were coming up to the gates of Scrap Heap, this trash-pile town of cutthroats and scavengers, we could see the vast mountain ranges of shattered Bivanda Thar looming ominously over the horizon, half shrouded in the gaseous vapors belched forth by the volcanoes in the far west. My companions prepared to do their business in town as fast as they could, not wishing to tarry in this notorious place.
Scrap Heap. At the foot of the ever-fuming mountains of the ancient dwarven kingdom lies Scrap Heap. The town of scavengers, debris, and junk is piled into veritable hills upon which the rickety homes of the decrepit inhabitants stand precariously. Ash lingers everywhere, and the sun is almost always absent from the twilight skies. It is an interesting game. So far, it's a lot of reading, which I don't normally enjoy a lot of. But, you know. Okay, so when a comatose enters a settlement, you can select from a variety of options, each one on its separate pane, revolving around resting, resupplying, and trading. You also have the opportunity to initiate stories located on the settlement. Okay. So, there's that. Oh, good lord, this thing is just a wall of text. It's an amazing... Devs, if you're listening, please make it where it reads it to us, because I don't know anybody who's going to want to sit there and just read walls and walls of text. But let's see what we got going on here. So far, all we've done is text-based stuff. So we'll make our way over to him confidently. No, I wouldn't say a bookworm. Told tales of your demise. The man finishes his sentence for him as the merchant nods vehemently. That business with Kernak, I believe they mean with Kernak. Outpost and the storm, Narbo adds. You tell him that you were indeed at Karnak when the terrible arcane storm struck. You describe the horrors of that night briefly. Yet how many of your original Comatas died there? Close friends, old traveling companions, but you walked away unscathed. This was years ago. Sheesh. Looked after you. Something fierce, eh? Narbu chuckles heartily, but I'm sure you haven't come to reminisce about good old times, eh? Apologize to him for the his predatory smile makes you cautious, even though he invites you to sit down with a casual wave of his hand. FR? What's FR? Apologize to him for his unfortunate way you parted 10 years ago. You don't do anything against me, eh? Naru shrugged with a wry smile. Of course, you could have sent someone to warn us. The bodyguard finishes the sentence. I appreciate you coming clean, even if this sorry business was so many years ago, he says after a long pause. The bodyguard becomes visibly less tense. But something tells me that you ain't all you come for still. So, what is it? Okay, I'll end my proposition. We will go with moderate. Junjavik, stand and make ready to leave. For her, we'll take ye to the back exit. We don't want to give people the idea they can come and beg for almost now. Wow. You got what you came for, so you leave the Wraith's stash through the back entrance and head back to the Comatas. Okay. Open your journal now by clicking on the book icon. I don't see a book icon oh, right here. It's not an icon, it's an actual book. Okay, this is where we can see our objectives, and all that good stuff. The market pane is now active. Good. So let's market on the right, cargo pane on the left. You can buy goods from the market or sell your own goods from your cargo hold when you're buying and selling. Okay. supposed to be buying up a bunch of this right here. A bunch of that. We'll buy up a bunch of supplies. I'll buy up a bunch of coal. You never know. Okay, there's that. So now we close that, I guess. Alright, that all looks good. What's it want me to do now? Okay. Some stacks. Clicking the icon opens a window where you can specify the quantity. Purchase 24 scrap metal and additional supplies. You have at least 800 units. That can't be right. Okay, so purchase the 24. We got that. Okay, and additional supplies to have at least 800 units. So apparently I don't need this coal. It wants me to buy up all this right here. Switch to the equipment tab and purchase the awnings equipment from the market. I actually haven't been on the ARC server in a little while now. Equip the awning on your comatars. Items, the third type of cargo, do not take cargo space and are not equipable. They are used in training. Okay. Once you leave, when you are done exploring, click on the arch icon on the bottom left. Okay. Once you leave, you cannot come back to this place in Pilgrims of the Wasteland. So be sure to do everything you can. Okay. Well, I can't do that. Can't do that. So I got everything I need. Okay, your progress is saved. So this really is like a reading live action book that you go through. There's no real like action or anything like that.
There they were, with a full cargo hold and filled with newfound hope. Yet, the road ahead still promised hardships and peril. I traveled with them southwards, expecting to reach more habitable lands beyond the Molten Tongues river of lava.
We're just gonna give this a few more minutes. Click on the sheet in the top left corner. Open it. Okay. Let's just talking about morals of the gods. Pizza, pizza. Right? Alright, so that's just giving me the basics. For now, add an outrider, then close this window by clicking X in the right corner. Outriders. So we will add a outrider. Okay, I still got like 9 points left. We will camp here. All right, folks. This was a pretty killer game. At least I think it was. And I hope you did too. And I want to say thank you to the devs, and I want to say thank you to those amazing people at GOG for sponsoring this and giving me this game. And remember, folks, GOG is where you can bring all your friends, your games, and everything else that makes you you all in one place in an amazing UI. So if you haven't checked them out yet, go ahead and give them a check out. Also, if you haven't hit that subscribe button on the old YouTube, why don't you go ahead and tap that, and if you're here on stream, hit that follow button. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, you have a good one.